Good afternoon, everybody. Today is cooking with apparently the First Lady of Crosswinds Church. And we're making curry chicken. I want to give a shout out to all of my Guyanese friends who taught me how to make this. And there are lots of different kinds of curry. This one is going to be closer to the Guyanese kind than the Thai curry or the Indian curry. Well, it's Indian curry, but it's Guyanese Indian curry. And so let's start with the ingredients that we have to put in it today. All right. First of all, we have some spices. We have curry powder. This is garam masala. It's not marsala, it's masala. It's spelled like this, M-A-S-A-L-A, and you'll need that. This is the curry powder that I'm using. You'll see it says a Guyanese tradition. And we have some garlic and thyme. We have onion, we have celery, and we have green onion. And by the way, the thyme is different than Guyanese thyme. They use a broadleaf thyme, but I didn't have that, so I just used some regular thyme that we're growing in our garden. And then we have chicken that has been cut up and washed with water and then with vinegar, because the vinegar acts as a tenderizer and just makes it real nice. And you definitely want to use chicken that has the bones in it. That gives some more flavor to the curry than if you just use chicken without bones. And then you'll need a little bit of oil, or ail, as my Guyanese friends would say. And I just hope that I don't mess this up. If you ladies are sitting there with your head in your hands because I'm doing something wrong, I apologize now. But I will do my best to represent Guyana well as I make this curry. Okay, so the first step is to make the curry paste, which I'm gonna put, I don't know, maybe a couple tablespoon of oil in my karahi and get that hot. And sometimes you can mix this separate. I mix it all in the pot and just cook it as it goes, but this is the first step. Okay, so we're gonna let our oil get hot, and the curry paste is gonna have the basic seasonings and spices blended together to flavor the curry.
So what is karahi?
The karahi is this is an authentic Guyanese karahi. It's a pot that you cook you cook your food in, and this one is one I brought back from Guyana with me. Okay.
And what could someone else use at their home?
If you don't, well, most of you probably don't have a karahi like this. You can use a wok, or you can just use like a Dutch oven, some type of pot, big enough to hold everything when it comes together. Now that the oil is hot, I'm gonna put in my onion. And sometimes this is preference of what you add in or what. You can let the onion cook a little first if you want, but I just put it all in. My garlic and my thyme. My garlic was pressed. You can chip it up. I'm just not very good at chipping it up. This is the celery. Just one stalk. You can find this recipe at crosswindchicago.life. And we're going to add in all of these beautiful seasonings right now. This is, curry powder, masala, and this one over here is ground jeera, or in the States it's called cumin. So that's all of those spices going in all at one time. And they're gonna fry up for a little bit. I am gonna add a little bit of water. to make that into a paste. And we want this to cook a little bit and get all those flavors blended together. You want to put your heat down to about medium high. I think I want a little bit more water. Medium high to high. You do want to stir it because they can burn. Okay. And since our celery is pretty thick, I cut one stem into four segments and then chopped it that way so that the celery pieces are smaller and they cook up quicker. All right, so who's watching me? Sister Runika, Sister Debbie, Deepa, Reshmi, Maria, Auntie Nalin. Am I doing okay? Sister Jamila, am I doing okay so far? Oh, and while you're stirring this and cooking and things, you need to remember that curry powder will stain. So maybe I can ask one of my Guyanese friends to give me the best tip they have on getting curry out of your clothes in case it flips up on you while you're cooking. But when you do this and you have all of this in here, your house is going to smell delicious already. Your neighbors are going to wonder what you're cooking. Your kids are going to wonder what are you cooking because it just smells wonderful. I would say that was probably a total of maybe a half a cup of water going in to help it not be so dried while it cooks. Okay, you can zoom in on that. That looks yummy. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the chicken into the pot. In the recipe, I think I said I used 3 thighs with the bone in and 1 chicken breast. You can use a whole chicken. You can use whatever, you can use whatever parts of the chicken you like, but I'm just gonna let you know that if you don't use anything with a bone, then you won't get the really good flavor. And you want to take that paste from the bottom of the pot and stir it all in with that chicken. This is going to, we're gonna cook the chicken a little bit here. It's gonna loose. It's gonna let some water off. It's gonna loose water. All right, you want that water to come out. That's gonna give you actually additional flavor from the chicken. It's okay. It's not gonna hurt you. If you don't get a lot of water, that's okay too, because we're gonna add water in a little bit. All right, so we're gonna let this cook until the chicken is till it's let all the water out, which would take too long. I'll try to watch the clock and let you know how long that will be. All right, and we'll be back after it does that step in the process. Okay, we're back, and the chicken seems to have let off or loosed all the water it's going to. Now, but I gotta, I'm not a professional cook here, and I'm not I'm not a cooking show hostess, so I forgot a couple things. One, I forgot some salt, and I could hear my friends yelling at me, "You have to add the salt." So let's see, who was it? Runika, who said her boys would always know if there was salt in the curry or not. Couple more shout outs. Let's see. who else? Tane Bible Church, Pastor Steve and Sister Joy, and then all our friends at Tane. We love you and miss you. Who else is in Tane? Sabi. I don't know. Amanda. And I know Lizzie might be watching from here in the States. Okay.
Brother Patrick.
If you cook your curry down and your chicken is all the way cooked through and it's more of a dry curry, that's where you might hear the word. I think it's bunjal. I think it's bunjalo and it's a drier curry. But we're gonna be making more of a curry with gravy, and so that's why we still need more. We're gonna add some more liquid into it. My favorite way to eat curry is with rice. Is with roti, either roti or dal puri. But my roti making skills have diminished. I'm gonna need some lessons before I'm confident to do that on any kind of cooking video. So today we'll be eating it with rice, and we will want a gravy to go over that. Okay. And I also I had forgotten the salt. I also forgot we are going to put potato in this curry. This is 3 small potatoes just cut into chunks. They will go in here in a few minutes. And a good Guyanese curry has, what, Brother Steve? What does a good Guyanese curry have, Brother Steve?
Not sure, Sister Jill.
It has some heat.
Oh, it has some heat to it.
Has
Gotta
some
have
heat.
a little.
So in Guyana, they would use this little pepper that looks like a cherry. It's bright red. It's called a weary pepper, but I don't have any weary pepper. So I will be adding just some hot sauce to it that will heat it up just a little bit, and not too much because otherwise it's too hot for us.
Shout out to Sister Charmin and Brother Vishnu.
Vishnu, Sarish, and Kamala, and his parents, Sarish's mom and dad, Raj.
Vicky, Rocky.
All my friends that
Ricky.
helped me learn how to cook Guyanese food.
The Fleming boys in the house.
You're really loud. All right. This actually could boil down just a little bit more. So if you don't like spice, you have plenty of flavor already in this pot. Okay, so don't feel the pressure to do this, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of hot sauce to that. Of course, that's an optional ingredient, and you add in however much you want. Another ingredient that some Guyanese put in their curries, I don't know if I'm getting this right or not, but it's what I remember and it's what I've always done, is to add tomato paste to the curry. It may be that the tomato paste goes in the stew, and the stew is another Guyanese dish to make a stew, but I like putting it in the curry too. So I just add in a little bit of tomato paste, and that's why I also buy it in the tube, because I wouldn't want to open a can, how they sell it in a can here. I wouldn't want to open that for just that little bit of tomato. So I don't know if that was the right thing to do. I might have just maybe we heard screams from coming out of Guyana for that one. So then I'm going to stir that in, and this is still cooking down, okay? We still haven't added in our green onion yet and our potato, and that's okay, because this chicken is not cooked all the way through yet. It's just kind of loosed out its water, and it's just absorbing all the flavors. All right, this dish does take some time. You're putting a lot of love into it, a lot of work. I would say a good curry takes probably an hour, hour and a half to really get your flavors in there nice and good. So at this point, I'm going to add the potatoes. And I'm going to add some water. I forgot to get a thing out for water. And I don't have this measured out. Ooh, God bless you. God bless you. I'm going to start with a cup because this part I don't really have measured. I have just to eyeball it. But, well, let me stir this in.
Shout out to Sister Mary and Brother Dinesh.
Yes, Mary and Dinesh. Who else? Golly, we didn't forget you. Oh, congratulations, Rebecca, on graduating from high school. Matthew, keep up the good work. Who else? I know we're forgetting people. We're sorry. Okay, so this is the pot right here, right? And what you want to do is just add water until you can kind of get, how I would do it is like I just splashed that all over me. So somebody now has to give a tip about how to get curry out of clothing. Okay. Until everything, especially the potatoes, can be down inside and can just kind of sit in there. So that was a cup of water plus what was already in there. And now I'm going to just sprinkle my green onion. This was just one green onion stem. I'm going to sprinkle that over the top. Curries do not come with a lid, so you have to find a pot lid that will fit over the top of it. We're going to put that on there, and we're going to let this cook now for, you want to bring it to a boil or just let it cook. Cook it on medium. And I don't know how long. I'm going to say at least a half an hour. And you don't want to turn it up to high. You don't want it because the chicken won't have a nice texture if you really boil it. So just leave it on medium and at least a half an hour. We'll check it in a half an hour and we'll see where it's at and let you know. Okay, so I watched the time on this and we let it between simmer and halfway boil for about 30 minutes. And when I came back to the pot, it had a little bit too much water in it for my liking. I kind of attribute that to how they put water into the chicken here because I did have a chicken breast in there. So I took the lid off and let some of that extra water evaporate out for about another 10 minutes. And then now I've let it cool for about another 10 minutes. And as it cools, the gravy will thicken. It's not really a gravy, like thick gravy consistency. It's still, it's liquidy, but it has thickened up. And the potatoes are done just right. Those were russet potatoes. And so I'm just gonna plate up. I have some white long grain rice. And I'm just gonna put a couple pieces of chicken. This will be Brother Steve's, and he likes to clean his bones. So I'm going to try to find a piece that has a bone in it for him, and a few potatoes. And then I'm going to just pour some gravy over the top. And in Guyanese style, I'm going to garnish with a few pieces of cucumber.
Oh, yeah.
And there you have Guyanese curry chicken with potato and rice. Enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions. I know it's not a dish that's easy and it is time consuming. So let me know if you have questions, and I hope you love it as much as we do.